Ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks, although they played horrific defense, but they ended up coming out with a win. So once again, I'm Miguel Mike Medina. This is my guy, Jason Guido.
What's going
Jason,
on?
how's it going, man?
What's going on? How you been since last night?
I'm good. I'm good, man. Hey, a win is a win, but it's not looking too good with these injuries piling up. Jalen Brunson gave us a scare, but then
Yeah.
he had like a mesmerizing Willis Reed 2.0, as everybody's been talking about. But the much more serious situation is OG's injury. When he went down, he played a great game last night, but when he went down that third quarter with the hamstring, um, you're hoping that is a cramp, but when it comes to hamstring injuries, you're going to be sidelined for a while. So we don't know what the status is yet, but the way it looked, it did not look too good.
Right, right. So I checked right before we came on the podcast, and there's still no update on whether it's just a cramp or a sore or he pulled the hamstring bad. So his status for game three and the rest of the series and playoffs is in question. I mean, it's a big deal. I mean, if he goes down, the Knicks are going to be in trouble. They're already in trouble with the various injuries that they have. So we'll have to wait and see. We can only hope that it's he can come back in game three or four. Hopefully, that's what we're hoping for as a Knicks fan, anyway.
But yeah, because he really played his tail off while Jalen Brunson
Well,
was out in that second quarter. Brunson, he scored 24 with 29 in the second half. Josh Hart, he played heavy minutes. He's a baller. Everybody, is always about the next man up, for these Knicks. But is go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say, like when Brunson went out in the first quarter, he didn't come back. Okay, all these things went in my head. I think I text you off, during the game. I thought the Knicks season was over. I could see them losing game two if he didn't come back, and game three, four, and five. I thought the Knicks could get swept. It's that big. He's that good of a player. He's that big of a deal. Because if he goes down, I don't know what you would do. I mean, um, so he did, and luckily, for the Knicks, hopefully he can stay healthy the rest of the series.
Yeah, he's a tough guy. He's a tough guy. I'll give him that. But I just hope that this foot injury doesn't linger now that they're going on the road in Indiana. And as for OG, we can just hope for the best, but that'll be another crucial loss if he goes down. He'll be the fourth next player that is important in that
You know,
roster to go down.
yeah.
So
So I've never seen. I mean, I know a few years ago when Toronto, the Raptors won the championship. A couple of the Golden State Warriors, that's who they beat, I believe. They went
yeah,
down and they were decimated. So I really haven't seen a Knicks team from what I can remember, and I go back to the good old days of the '90s playoffs, um, of them having so many key people injured. I don't remember anybody being injured to be upfront with you, but having this many people injured, as you get down on the bench, they're not the same caliber of players coming off, trying to play those starter minutes, especially in the playoffs where everything is magnified. So again, we have to hope for the best.
I have to say this. I like Rick Carlisle. I respect him as a coach. Everything's accomplished, but I was very disappointed in him because he looked like a crybaby in that post game conference. He really
Right.
was.
And you seen what he
That
did,
was
right?
totally unacceptable. Like, come on, this is a guy that played for the '80s Celtics team as a bench guy. He won a championship with the Mavericks in 2011. He coached the Pacers back in the
Right.
2000s where they were good, and
Yes.
yeah, now with this team that is good as well. He's a good head coach. I like and I respect Rick Carlisle, but he disappointed me last night. Him complaining about the refs. Did the refs help you? You gave up 130 points to the Knicks yesterday.
Well, you see what
And we were and I like seeing small market teams win. I'm one of those guys that I always like and root for small market teams win, not just in the NBA, but in any sport.
right, right. You told
So,
me that before.
but 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 the way he presented himself in that post game conference, that was embarrassing. I'm sorry. Like, come on, come on.
So you know what I always say. I said this to you about in the Sixers series, and I say it in all the other sports. A lot of that is gamesmanship. Like he's trying to, like I was going to say that, I don't know if you've seen this morning. He sent 70. I'm going to get the right amount. He sent from both games 1 and 2. Look, he sent 78 calls that went against the Pacers to the NBA for them to review it.
Yeah, he
So
said some sort of number that I don't recall, but he
it was
what
78. That's what
and I thought to
it said.
myself, like I thought to myself, I never recall a head coach like going that in when it comes to numbers of calls. I'm like, wow, wow. You should
And they
blame
talk.
your defense. Teach your team how to play defense, because
Well,
it's over.
here's another thing, Mike. Real quick, I have to get off. I have to tell you. I have to say this. The Knicks haven't won the championship in since 1973, right?
Three,
So
yeah.
them talking about the small team market getting the call. I mean, I can make that case with almost every New York team. I don't want to sound like a homer because sometimes they say I am, but again, I can complain about I can tell you a whole bunch of calls in the when the Knicks were good in the '90s or had one of the better teams. A lot of calls didn't go their way. Most of the calls didn't go their way. They didn't win any championships. Getting to the finals and winning is two different things. So again, I can make those complaints too. So like I said to you a couple of minutes ago, I think it's done out of he's going to try to get as many calls with the Pacers going back to Indiana. That's what he's trying to do. That's basically what it is. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't stop them on defense. Might as well try to get the reps on your side in
Well,
Indiana.
but both teams shot the ball incredible. Both teams shot the ball around 50%. Both teams almost shot the ball. I think it was in the high 40s from 3-point range. So the shooting hasn't been the problem. Um, a lot of the times, what we've seen in the games when both teams go down is one team gets hot and the other team doesn't get hot for a few minutes, and that's when we see some of the fluctuations in the scoring. But it's been pretty even, and the shooting has been good on both sides. I can add this though for the Knicks, and you notice in games 1 and 2, they've had a lot of trouble getting the ball in bounds, especially coming down the stretch of the games in the fourth quarter. When I mean the stretch down, last 5-6 minutes of the fourth quarter, you had a lot of trouble uh, getting the ball in. Almost a couple violations, inbound violations, and a couple of times they almost turned the ball over. They have turned the ball over doing that. So that's something that the Knicks better work on, regardless of who's playing for them in Game 3, because they're going to be crazy in Indiana tomorrow.
Yes, they are, and I'm pretty sure that crowd is gonna be pretty hostile because of, especially now with these comments that Rick Carlisle made, they're gonna be even more hostile coming to Game 3 and more
Of course.
pumped up. So, but hey, New York, Indiana, that's classic rivalry right there. So I'm all for it. There's a lot of history there. But let's see how Game 3 will play out. We have to see on the status of OG, so we'll
Right.
keep an eye
It's
on
a big
that.
deal. Okay.
And yeah, I believe they play Saturday or Sunday for Game 3. But
Right.
it's gonna be a dogfight because yes, the Knicks are up 2-0, but they gotta get the job done.
I
It's still
have
not
something.
over.
I have something to make you laugh. So Alex Burks actually came in. Remember, I told you they should go to other place. He actually played 1 minute and took one shot and missed. But he did get in the game officially.
Damn,
But
Tom Tibbs is
you know how
cold
Tim will
blooded. Yeah, cold blooded, cold
uh,
blooded.
uh,
All right, Jason. Let's just see what happens in Game 3. But thank you so much
yeah, no
for
problem.
doing
Anytime.
this, and
Yeah, no problem. You know I love doing it. Stop it.
you
Come
know,
on.
of course, like I said, they got to get the job done. They're decimated, but they got to figure out a way to get this done. 2 more wins to go to the conference finals.
And again, we didn't even see Jericho Sims. So the Knicks have another center they could play. So we didn't see him. I thought we were going to see him yesterday at some point, but we didn't. So we'll see.